Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Salmeen Ansari, and I welcome you back to another fantastic episode of Contourcast Podcast for Life. The past few episodes have been absolutely exhilarating. I am getting an opportunity to talk to people who are not just helping Contour Software become the most sought after organization in Pakistan, but understanding the personal elements of their journey is such a great learning experience. We hope you've been enjoying these episodes as much as we have. आज भी हमारे साथ जो गेस्ट मौजूद हैं उनकी पर्सनालिटी बहुत ही मुनफरिद है उनकी जर्नी के बारे में हम बात करेंगे लेकिन ऑल्सो हाउ सच अ क्वाइट नेचर्ड एंड सॉफ्ट स्पोकन पर्सन हैज सच अ फैंटास्टिक सेंस ऑफ कॉम्पिटिशन एंड लीडरशिप ये कॉम्बिनेशन मुझे पर्सनली बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग लगा एंड आई होप यू गोइंग टू एंजॉय लिसनिंग टू हिम ऑल्सो I welcome onto the hot seat today Asif Kaleem. Asif, welcome to the hot seat at Contourcast Podcast for Life.
Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. आसिफ, आपकी जर्नी बहुत ही दिलचस्प है. कहाँ से शुरुआत आपकी हुई कि आपने मैथ्स और फिजिक्स पढ़ा? Then you did your masters in computer science. And today you are sitting on the seat that you are as a development manager, but also one of the most sought after development managers in the industry. How has this journey been?
I think this is, first of all, Allah's blessing to me. And secondly, I think you always need consistency and effort to achieve what you want to achieve. I think that was, there are some history of events that made me think or rethink where should I go.
Okay.
And I think in my past experience, when I was working with other companies, I was having some unpleasant experiences.
Okay.
I think that relates to the matter where companies in Pakistan, you may say, generally tend to exploit the insecurities of, or you may say, um, social or economic insecurities are exploited heavily
Okay.
in our industry.
Okay.
So I was kind of you may say a victim of that thing
Okay.
as well.
And was that like a wake up call for you?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But when I joined Contour, I experienced a very different environment where you are trusted and you are given a chance where you are allowed to make mistakes.
Ah.
And that was a very unusual thing, and it you may say it reinvented me.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the environment that was provided to me, especially from Trapeze, which I have worked with.
Right.
Trapeze is basically, we are working with Trapeze Europe part.
Acha.
We go to Denmark. And I get a chance to work with them with their own offices in Denmark and Sweden and Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to learn a lot, especially the way they are managing and they see the world. So that was something that I think is very, very special for me
Okay.
to do what we have achieved so far and what we have gained so far. And it's again not my personal effort; it's all team effort.
Okay. So working with offshore companies, jahan there's a great learning experience, poses quite a few challenges also. Especially considering that temperaments are very different of people working in different regions. Have you ever faced such circumstances where the temperaments or the aptitude or the attitudes of people there and here are very, very variant, but you've still had to make it work?
I think when we talk with offshore, हमारी बहुत सारी कम्युनिकेशन जो होती है वो टेक्निकल ग्राउंड पे होती है एंड
Right.
वी अंडरस्टैंड ईच अदर फ्रॉम टेक्निकल स्टैंड पॉइंट्स
Okay.
एंड दैट इज नॉट अ थिंग दैट was difficult to understand for me, but the thing is कि कुछ मैनेजेरियल एस्पेक्ट से जब मैंने जो चीज़ें देखी हैं लोगों को समझना शुरू किया, आई थिंक एज आई मेंशन कि व्हेन आई वेंट देयर, तो वहाँ से मुझे आई थिंक डिफरेंस फील हुआ मीटिंग इन पर्सन विद देम एंड लर्निंग द वे दे आर मैनेजिंग एंड दे वांट अस टू मैनेज our people. So that was a very different thing as compared to talking with them remotely. And
Right.
I think उसमें difference ये हुआ कि हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे जब मैं था तो मैं उन लोगों को अपने माइंडसेट के अकॉर्डिंगली जो है ना वो मैनेज कर रहा था। And then
Okay.
जब मैं उन लोगों से मिला और उन लोगों से एक विजन जो अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश की
Okay.
और उस विजन को जब मैंने ग्रास्प किया, देन आई would come back and work with my team and try to develop the mindset that they want to see in building with us. So that was kind of a difference.
So it was a very good learning experience in terms of understanding that everybody is very unique and they deal with people according to the people in their team and their potential, not according to the way we would expect them to be.
Mhm.
Correct?
Yeah.
Dekhe, Asif is a fantastic example of a person who is of a soft, mellow, quiet nature, but because he's so competent, so dedicated, and so diligent about his work, he's not expected to be a very, very loud or very flamboyant person, which is appreciated in a workplace like Contour Software. So, is that something which you have also learned to cherish, Asif, कि आपको नहीं expect किया जाता कि आप एक certain तरीके से सिर्फ ढलें as a person because you are your own person
Mhm.
and you like to stay a little quiet and a little soft, जिसके बड़े advantages भी होंगे. Have you felt that this environment enables you to be yourself?
आई थिंक कॉन्टूर की बहुत सारी अच्छी बातों में ये भी बात है कि हमारे यहाँ कोई से कहते हैं ना कि फोर्स नहीं कर रहा कि आप ऐसे मैनेज करें और ऐसे चीज़ों को लेके चलें. यू आर independent in many decision making procedures and process. So that makes you feel different as compared to any other organization and comfortable, especially when you have authority and control and be yourself. So that is one of the key positive sides of working with Contour.
Okay, इसको मैं बिल्कुल ही एक पर्सनल और इंडिविजुअल एस्पेक्ट पे इसी सवाल को लेके जाती हूँ. खामोश मिजाज लोग जो हैं वो बहुत कुछ एब्जॉर्ब भी कर रहे होते हैं. यू थिंक ज्यादा फायदा होता है कम बोलने का?
डिपेंड्स. कई दफ़ा हमें बोलना भी बहुत ज़्यादा पड़ता है क्योंकि
अच्छा, okay.
जब आप टीम मैनेज कर रहे होते हैं तो यू हैव टू वर्क विद लॉट ऑफ पीपल एंड यू
Right.
हैव to be a good communicator to understand their perspective and try to communicate what you are actually trying to deliver.
Okay.
उससे ज़्यादा communicate करने से I think you sometimes lose the real essence of your communication sometimes.
Very interesting. So sometimes you can end up conveying more by
Yeah.
saying less. In this day and age, it is highly recommended to have a mentor or a coach. Sometimes people go looking for a mentor or a coach, and sometimes people are able to identify that a certain individual requires a mentor or a coach. In either case, it helps an individual grow to the maximum of their potential and bring forward the best of who they are capable of being. आसिफ, आप क्या समझते हैं कितना जरूरी है किसी शख्स की जिंदगी में, whether वो पर्सनल स्पेस हो या प्रोफेशनल स्पेस हो, एक मेंटोर का होना? एक तो ये, और दूसरा ये, हैव यू हैड द गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ हैविंग अ मेंटोर इन योर लाइफ?
Yes, I do, and I think this is one of the most important aspect of our human lives, that we need mentorship time to time and in different stages of our lives. And I'm blessed that I have been associated with my spiritual teacher,
Okay.
who has been helping me in purifying my soul and mentoring me in different aspects of life. It could be personal or professional.
Okay.
And I think the success that I have gained so far, alhamdulillah, it has been a major role of my teacher who has been guiding me or mentoring me. And I think in the professional point of view, one of the most important aspect that you have to watch if you are a leader, that if someone requires mentorship, then you have to provide it and identify where people need it. And sometimes if they are coming to you, you have to be honest and available to them to provide whatever they need.
Now, it's been almost 9 years since you've been with the Contour Software team and company. And I'm sure the journey has been full of very interesting adventures.
Yes, it is.
One thing that has been, I think, a very significant part of your journey at Contour is your willingness to take things beyond the required.
Yeah.
ये mindset कहाँ से आता है? क्योंकि अगर आपको एक टास्क दिया जाए, आप बेहतरीन तरीके से परफॉर्म करें, आपको उसको एक सर्टेन लेवल पे लेके आएँ, जैसे आप नेक्स्ट जेन पावर टूल्स के साथ काम करते हैं और हमेशा करते रहे हैं, यू आर नोन, योर रेप्यूट इज सच दैट you're not satisfied, you want to take it to another level. Where does this mindset come from?
My thought or my motivation behind all this is that I have to go for an extra mile because I think this is the requirement of me being Muslim and Pakistani
Okay.
because we all need it.
Okay.
It is our, you may say, हमारा एक lost treasure था जो हम लोगों ने जिसके ऊपर फोकस करना छोड़ दिया.
Right.
तो और ये चीज़ मुझे एहसास तब हुआ जब मैं बाहर लोगों के साथ काम किया, तो मुझे दो चीज़ें फील हुई कि आई एम बेसिकली एडवोकेटिंग इस्लाम एंड पाकिस्तान.
Right.
So I'm a representation of these two things to them. So that make me think that if I do something which is questionable to them, even though there are multiple types of questionable things, but
Right.
the point is that if the satisfaction of the people that you are working with is questioned, then it just not about myself, but it also relates to my country and sometimes my religion as well. So this was one of the thing. And also अगर हम पाकिस्तान की इस वक्त सिचुएशन देखें तो the thing is that we are already way behind the overall progression in this area in the USA in tech. We are competing. I cannot say we are competing, but we are way far behind as compared to India. So at least I think being Pakistani, this is our responsibility to contribute to any level. And if like Contour is providing a great platform where you can contribute to the whole thing or the whole
the industry.
Industry. That is one of the key motivations for me at least, and I think it should be for others who are working or thinking about working in this field or in Contour as well. It's a great platform, and I think it's you're not just contributing to this organization, you're also contributing to Pakistan's progression as well.
That's a very different perspective, and thank you for sharing that, because different perspective, because एक पेट्रियट होने का जो क्लेम होता है वो लोग एक बहुत ही एक डिफरेंट इमोशनल एस्पेक्ट में लेते हैं. यू नो कि कोई नाम लेता है मुल्क का तो हम दिफा करने सामने खड़े हो जाएंगे, या जो भी चीज़ है मुल्क में उसको वी एक्सेप्ट इट एंड वी एम्ब्रेस इट एंड वी आर प्राउड ऑफ इट. Lot of things we're not very proud of also, but you, I think, in your approach of Dyanatdari and honesty and doing more, have brought together such a beautiful definition of what patriotism can be. So thank you for that. Also, हम बात कर रहे थे कल परसों के एडवेंचर तो हर किस्म के होते हैं जिंदगी में. तो आपकी एडवेंचर की डेफिनेशन, इफ आई रिमेम्बर करेक्टली, बड़ी डिफरेंट थी. ज़रूरी नहीं होता कि इंसान किसी दूर दराज जगह पे जाए तो एक एडवेंचर हो. उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा शेयर करेंगे?
मेरी इंजॉयमेंट ये होती है कि मैं थोड़ा सा अंडरस्टैंड करूं कि रियलिटी क्या है किसी चीज़ की. और तो उसमें कई दफ़ा अगर लेट्स से अगर मैं कहीं किसी एडवेंचर टूर पे गया हूँ या किसी और मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि मैं जिस पे रूटीन ट्रैक्स पे ना चलूँ. I try to follow a track that I think that it should be followed. So that gives you, and I have discovered many interesting places myself and things like that. So and it could be found in any aspect of life. It could be found in humans.
आसिफ, लाहौर से आपका ताल्लुक है, if I'm not mistaken, यहीं आप पले बड़े हैं, और लाहौरियों को तो बहुत बड़े प्राउडली वो कहते हैं कि खाने पीने का बहुत शौक है. तो और खाना पीना मिकदार भी ज़्यादा. आप भी उन्हीं लाहौरियों में से हैं या आप समझते हैं कि खाना कम ही खाना चाहिए?
मेरी पर्सनली प्रेफरेंस तो होती है कि मैं ज़रूरत से थोड़ा सा कम खाता हूँ.
अच्छा.
बट ये कि लाहौरियों को है खाने पीने का शौक.
In a world where we are surrounded by lots of chaos, social media and technology, I think it's very important to identify those skills, habits, or disciplines which will help us improve individually as a person. Because after all, at the end of the day, we do strive to be better in each aspect of our life. तो आसिफ आपसे पूछते हैं, आप क्या समझते हैं कौन सी ऐसी चीज है, आदत है, तौर तरीका है या माइंडसेट है जो अपने आप को इंसान अगर उसमें ढाल ले तो वो एज एन इंडिविजुअल पर्सनल स्पेस में भी बहुत थ्राइव करता है और प्रोफेशनली भी दैट पर्सन इज 2 steps ahead.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई थिंक द अपनी सेल्फ जजमेंट जो है बंदा स्ट्रांग करे और एक अपनी ऑनेस्ट अपने अपने साथ ऑनेस्ट हो जाए फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एंड द पैरामीटर्स जिसकी बेस के ऊपर हम सेल्फ जजमेंट करते हैं आई थिंक दैट डिपेंड्स क्या वो पैरामीटर्स आपके पैरामीटर्स क्या हैं बिकॉज अगर वो पैरामीटर्स राइट नहीं हैं तो देन यू माइट बी फूलिंग योरसेल्फ तो उसके लिए बेस्ट मेरे ख्याल से बीइंग मुस्लिम्स हमारे पास पैरामीटर्स वही हैं जो अल्लाह और उसके रसूल ने बताए हैं
Right.
and thirdly I think ownership own what you do because if you're not owning and what you're doing I think that makes no sense and I think once you start owning things it automatically derive you through that what is important to be done to get
To get ahead.
get it done right.
Now, अच्छे कपड़े in any अच्छी organization, I think एक precedent होता है in most organizations that one should be well dressed, well groomed, not anything fancy. As a professional who's been around in the industry for very long, generally तो impression ये होता है या एक reputation होती है people in the tech space की that they don't really, invest so much or take out too much time about what their appearance is like. But I find that to not hold true, especially at Contour Software. तो आप क्या समझते हैं? पैसों में खर्चना चाहिए, नहीं खर्चना चाहिए? Should it matter to us?
Yes, it matters. I think it matters, especially in the culture that we have in Pakistan. I think it matters.
Okay.
But in the tech industry, it might not be something like you have to wear very casual clothes or something. But even though you should wear nicely, and that especially if you're in a leading position, your appearance matters, and that gives a strong message when in your communication when you're looking with the right data.
Okay, wonderful. So we're going to wrap this up on a very, very light note with a very brief but very quick rapid fire round. Books or movies?
Both.
Okay. Video games or outdoor sports?
Outdoor sports.
Okay. Cricket or football?
Football.
Pakistan forever or some other country someday?
Some other country someday.
Fantastic. What a pleasure it's been speaking to you, Asif. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It was a very different experience for me as well.
Pleasure having you with us, Asif.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube, our SoundCloud, and our Spotify channels. Till next episode, Salmeen Ansari saying thank you and Allah Hafiz.